Hello, and welcome to the Abundology podcast. My name is Renee Spears, and I'm a spirit guide channeler and spiritual life and business mentor. And I help people be happy and attract more money, love, time, and joy in their lives. I'm coming to you from beautiful Bozeman, Montana, and this is the weekly energy update for the week of April 23rd, 2023. Every Sunday, I talk about how the energy is going to be for the week ahead, and I also infuse the show with some positive vibes, so you get a little positive energy boost just for listening. And we are in the heart of the first eclipse season of the year, which kicked off with that powerful solar eclipse in Aries last week on Wednesday. And next week on Friday, May 5th, we have a lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Eclipses arrive in pairs, and they occur 2 weeks apart. If the first eclipse happens on a new moon, which is a solar eclipse, the second eclipse will be on the next full moon, a lunar eclipse. This 2-week period is eclipse season, and the time period between the two eclipses is known as the Eclipse Corridor. So we are currently in the Eclipse Corridor with Mercury Retrograde. Eclipses are known for throwing curveballs and shaking things up, and as we know, Mercury Retrograde can do the same thing. So these 2 weeks in this eclipse corridor can be very, very challenging, and it could feel like this time will never end. Eclipse energy is so heightened that you don't want to try to work with it because it's just too hard to harness. Think of it like a bolt of lightning or maybe a powerful windstorm. This is not the time to force something to happen. You can't control or push your way through this energy. So the best way to handle it is to simply step out of its way and let it do its thing. Even if it blows up your perfectly laid plans and leaves you a mess on the floor. Eclipses teach us that there's actually a lesson to be learned and a new path forward once the dust settles. Eclipses are not for intention setting and seed planting. They're about surrender. So the secret to making it through this time and this energy is surrender. No matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you push something to happen, you cannot effort your way through eclipse season with a Mercury retrograde on top. Remember, eclipses are fated times. Times like this are perfect for practicing our deepest beliefs about life and getting clear about them. I mean, it may be hard to believe that your life blowing up and things that are happening are destiny and meant to be. Times like this have us questioning if we really, really deep down believe that everything is going to be okay. We may be questioning that belief right now. This eclipse corridor is our opportunity to practice not only accepting that belief, but embodying it. And if you embody that belief, you can relax, surrender, and look at things as an observer. Like your life is a reality show and you're watching it, waiting to see what happens in the next episode. Remember though, this is your favorite reality show. The writer never lets you down and everything that happens always leads to something better. Change is inevitable here. It's happening. You can either fight it all the way or you can surrender and allow the changes to move you forward. If anything in your life is eclipsed away, here's my advice. Stop chasing and give it some space. You'll either manifest a better option or circle back to this later after you've processed the lesson and evolved. The fabulous news is that we're in Taurus season. And Taurus season is for relaxing, recharging, and giving ourselves time and space. I had to remind myself of that this weekend. I'm going to launch a weekly spiritual practice to go along with my podcast. And my plan was to get the first part of it done this week. And that is just not happening. Sure, I could push myself, I could get stressed out and probably have to rework it, thank you Mercury retrograde, and I could get something done. Or I can surrender, give myself some time and space to let it marinate a little longer, and trust that I will launch it at the exact right moment. So given the eclipses and Mercury going retrograde, it's more important than usual to chill out right now. Give yourself permission to pause. There's chaos in the outer world, and the antidote is to move more slowly. And slowing down doesn't mean we're slacking off. It means allowing for pleasure, for being fully present in the moment, and doing things in a sustainable way. So one of the best ways to get what we want is to move forward slowly and steadily. You don't need to rush. We can slow down to speed up later. Taurus is perhaps the biggest self-care advocate of the zodiac, and this season will be the ultimate invitation to lean into what makes you happy. And self-care practices are personal, so it's all about finding what works for you. But we want to embrace comfort, luxuriousness, rest, and relaxation, and embody the joy that comes with it. Taurus season is the season when we can connect to the magic and the beauty of just being alive. Think walking meditations, think time in nature, and simply enjoying the beauty of any given moment. This is the time to rest, reflect, and get centered. And the Mercury Retrograde energy helps us with that too. Despite its reputation, Mercury Retrograde is a chance to practice inner peace when the world around us is showing anything but. Mercury, who is the great communicator of the zodiac, is taking a much-needed break. And we too need to take a break from the relentless progress. We have been going full speed ahead for months. So it is time for reflection, rethinking, and slowing down. So the last thing I want to mention is that tomorrow, Monday, April 24th, the sun is conjunct the North Node. And this is the last time this will happen for another 18 years. Later this year, the North Node will move into Aries, creating a whole new cycle. So the North Node represents our highest destiny and where we're going. And as the North Node wraps up its journey in Taurus and aligns with the sun for the last time, the energy is really concentrated right now. The North Node in Taurus has been guiding us to focus on our relationship with the earth, our self-worth, our finances, and our physical bodies. So the sun is shining this big spotlight on all those things right now. And the one that has shown up in almost every session with clients this week is money. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard that the money has dried up. And I've even experienced a slowdown in the flow of money. So you've heard me talk about my money journal. I keep track of all the money I'm attracting and I write it down in a journal. This practice keeps me focused on what I'm attracting and not what I don't have. I've noticed when the flow of money slows down, it's always a sign for me to get back into alignment with myself and my money beliefs. And more often than not, to create and embrace another way of making money. I mention this because when the North Node of Destiny is involved, we may get downloads and insights and ideas about the new way we're going to make money. I totally had one about launching this new weekly spiritual practice that goes hand in hand with my podcast. So these are fated times with the sun lighting up that North Node of Destiny. Pay attention to anything that comes up around money and surrender. Don't get approval for the loan? That's okay. This purchase wasn't meant to be. Got a new job offer? It's time to move on, make more money. Money flow has dried up? Surrender and pay attention to where the next source of money shows up and trust that it will all be okay. So to recap this week, we are smack in the middle of 2 eclipses with energy swirling all around. And this energy is amplified even more than usual because of Mercury retrograde. Change is happening. It is inevitable. So just surrender and allow the changes to move you forward. Slow down, rest, relax, recharge, and know that everything is working out for your highest good. That song, Take It Easy by the Eagles, is the perfect song for this week. And if you'd like even more reassurance and some clarity about what's next in your life, please book an appointment with me. Treating yourself to some peace of mind might be exactly what you need to feel a little relief right now. You can schedule your appointment at Abundology.com, and I will also put a link in the show notes. As always, thank you for listening and passing this podcast on to a friend you think may find value in it. Have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you again next week as we get ready for the lunar eclipse and even more excitement in our lives. So have a great week, everyone.